Hello, everybody. I welcome you all to our next episode of Mind Matters. I'm your host, Avni Ved, and today we're going to talk about something that we all deal with emotions. More specifically, we'll be talking about why managing emotions is so necessary and how avoiding them can affect us in ways we might not even realize. Let's face it, life throws a lot at us, from joy to anger to sadness to moments where we just feel lost. But have you ever noticed how often you try to avoid certain feelings, especially the ones that are uncomfortable, like grief, anger, or sadness? Well, in today's session, we're going to explore why it is so important to stop running from these emotions and learn to face them head on. We've all been there. Something happens, maybe a tough day at work, an argument with a loved one, or even a big disappointment. And instead of facing how we really feel, we brush it off. We keep moving forward. I don't have time for this, we tell ourselves. But here's the thing. It's like sweeping dust under the rug. Sure, it's out of sight for now, but it's still there, waiting to pile up and eventually come spilling out. Think of emotions as dog poop. I know, stay with me here. If you don't pick it up, it's going to start stinking. And if you keep avoiding it, pretty soon your whole house is going to stink. In the same way, if we start avoiding dealing with our emotions like grief, anger, or sadness, they don't just disappear. They start affecting us in other areas of our life. And just like how you wouldn't want your house to stink, you don't want your emotional health to suffer either. When we suppress emotions, we often think we are being strong or saving ourselves from unnecessary pain. But in reality, we are doing more harm than good. Avoiding emotions is like putting a band-aid over a deep wound. It might cover it up for a bit, but it's not healing anything underneath. For example, let's say you've had a loss. It could be a breakup or death of someone you cared about. Instead of allowing yourself to grieve, you dive into work, stay busy, do anything you can to not think about it. But then, one day, out of nowhere, you're hit with this overwhelming sadness. And it might seem confusing, but it's not. That sadness was there all along. You just buried it for a while. What we need to understand is that our emotions are trying to tell us something. They are not just here to make us feel bad. Rather, they are signals from our mind and body that something needs attention. So if avoiding emotions isn't the answer, what is? It's all about allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. I know that sounds simple, but it's not always easy. We're often conditioned to react, to push away uncomfortable, to move on as quickly as possible. But here's the challenge. Instead of reacting, try sitting with the feeling. For example, if you're feeling angry, rather than immediately snapping at someone or bottling it up, pause for a moment. Sit with that anger. Ask yourself, where is it coming from? What's beneath under this feeling? Maybe it's frustration, disappointment, or even fear. By sitting with the feeling and digging a little deeper, we give ourselves a chance to understand it better. And when we understand it, we can process it better. When we allow it to pass instead of letting it control us. It's like having a messy room. If you clean a little bit each day, it's manageable. But if you wait for the mess to pile up, it becomes overwhelming and eventually you'll have no choice but to tackle it head on. Once you've given yourself time to feel the emotion, the next step is to let it go. I know that sounds easier said than done, but think of emotions like waves. They come and go. But if we don't try to stop the wave, or worse, ignore it, it's only going to hit us harder when we least expect it. Let yourself experience the emotion, process it, and then move on. Moving on does not mean forgetting or minimizing what happened. It means you're no longer allowing it to control your life. You may be wondering, does this mean I should let myself feel sad or angry all the time? Not at all. It's about balance. The more we practice feeling and processing our emotions, the less overwhelming they become. We start to build emotional resilience. To wrap things up, managing our emotions isn't about never feeling bad or sad. Rather, it's about allowing ourselves to feel, process, and move forward in a healthy way. Just like cleaning up after a dog, it might not be the most fun task, but it's necessary to keep things fresh and manageable. Thank you for tuning into today's session. I hope this gives you a new perspective on why managing emotions is so important. I'm Avni Ved, and I look forward to exploring more about mental health and well-being with you in our upcoming sessions. Stay mindful and take care.